I was standing in my bathroom crying, my heart was racing, and my hair was falling out into my hands. The thing I was using to save my hair, minoxidil, felt like it was destroying it. And in that moment, I remember thinking, this is making it worse. Not just my hair, but my anxiety, my body, my trust in myself. I did what you're supposed to do. I followed the advice of doctors. I trusted the big brands, but instead of feeling better, I felt out of control and my hair was shedding more. My heart was beating out of my chest because of the side effects, and I felt completely disconnected from my own body. I thought if I followed the rules, I'd get results, and I didn't. That's when I decided I had to take things into my own hands. I set out to develop a natural solution that actually works, but I felt like an imposter. Who was I to even question it? I'm not a chemist. I'm not a scientist. What do I know? And meanwhile, I keep seeing hair care brands push caffeine shampoos like they were miracles. They're not. And when you actually look into the research, there's nothing backing those claims. Plus, it doesn't sit on your head long enough to actually do anything. Topicals that sit on the surface. Ingredients that never really reach where they need to go. And it feels like lies. And it made me angry. That breakdown in my bathroom was the moment everything changed, because I realized I was going to keep trusting systems that weren't built for people like me. Nothing was going to change. So this is the journey of how I took things into my own hands to create the Essence Scalp Mist. Not because I thought I was an expert, but because I was desperate enough to learn. This is my story. Grab a matcha or a coffee, get cozy, because boy, this is a bumpy ride. Strap in, folks. The truth is, this didn't start smoothly. I didn't have capital, I didn't even have a lab, and I definitely didn't have any guarantees that this would work. I sent email after email after email. Most of them went unanswered. No one got back to me. Some of them were flat out rejections, until finally one formulation lab believed in the vision enough to take a chance on me. They agreed to do the R&D, research and development, for free on one condition. If it worked, they would manufacture it. So that was it. No safety net, and the rest is history. I started by writing the brief of what I actually wanted this product to do. Not what was trending, not what other brands were doing, what I needed, what I saw as a gap. And I wrote that I didn't want another surface level product. I didn't want false hope in a bottle. I wanted something that actually respected how slow and complex hair growth is. But then I hit my first real fear in my formulation journey: alcohol. Every big brand talks about alcohol like it's essential for penetration. So when I said I didn't want it in my formula, I genuinely thought, maybe I'm being naive. What if I'm wrong? What if this is the reason the formula doesn't work? So the lab did extensive research, and what we found changed everything. Not only do you not need alcohol, it's actually incredibly damaging to the scalp. It dehydrates it, it compromises the scalp skin barrier, and it creates the exact environment you don't want for hair growth. And that was the first time I realized how much misinformation there is in this industry. And I was so thankful that the lab could see my vision and was getting it. But that still wasn't the real breakthrough. The real breakthrough came when I stepped back and asked a bigger question. Why does everyone talk about hair growth like it's a surface problem? What you put on, what you wash with, what you can see, because hair doesn't actually start there. It starts deeper. And once that clicked, everything shifted. I stopped looking at rosemary, caffeine or biotin, and I started looking at biotechnology. This search led me to a small lab in Spain that specialized in plant stem cells. This wasn't beauty science, this was cellular research. It was terrifying. I remember sitting there thinking, what the fuck am I doing emailing biotech scientists? This felt way beyond my comfort zone. But they saw the problem the same way I did. That hair loss isn't just about growth, it's about the environment the hair is trying to grow in. And that's where Capilla longa came in, turmeric stem cells. When I found it, I felt like I was striking gold, because for the first time, I was reading the research that spoke to the root of the issue. At the cellular level, not just the surface. For those who don't know, Capilla longa is turmeric stem cells. Turmeric stem cells feed nutrients to your hair and are the instructions that the plant has to grow, aka it gives those instructions to your hair, and plants and hair are extremely similar. We paired Capilla longa with Alea renova, wild olive tree stem cells, to support the hair follicle from within. This meant growth, strength, structure, resilience. This wasn't about forcing hair to grow. It was about creating the conditions for it to grow. Of course, that didn't mean it worked straight away. So the first formulas that I got back were an absolute mess. They were too sticky and it left residue and it didn't feel good on my hair or my scalp at all. But this time, failure felt a little bit different because now I knew we were finally asking the right questions. Then the lab sent me one of the early versions in a serum bottle. I remember holding it and thinking, this still isn't it. I don't want this to be another hair growth serum because I find personally serums messy, they're hard to use, they cover a small area, and they just cause so much friction to something you have to do consistently. Plus, they made me look like a drowned rat. Grease balls. Others zig, I wanted to zag. So I decided I wanted it to be a spray, something super easy to use that was a joy to use, and that's when something clicked. Hello, mist. That decision literally changed everything because when the lab sent me the final formula, that felt perfect. So that's when I started testing it on myself. A real life guinea pig, guys. So I used Essence every day for months. By month 2, I was a little bit worried because I knew hair growth is slow, but what was taking so long? But then by month 3, I started seeing baby hairs. I was so excited. I felt confirmation that slow, consistent, respectful care actually works. And then I got people to test it. My friends, family, OG customers from Bia days. If you know Bia, if you know, you know. And when the feedback was so positive, I knew I had to release it. Before all of this, hair loss made me feel powerless, and I felt like my body was something I had to fix or control. And creating Essence changed that because it taught me that healing doesn't respond to force, it responds to environment. That's what this product really is. It's not a miracle, it's not a trend, it's not a quick fix. It's a refusal to lie and a refusal to sell hope without responsibility, because I know exactly how it feels. And a belief that you don't need to shock your body into changing, you need to support it long enough to let it do what it's designed to do. I didn't build Essence because I had perfect, beautiful hair like the influencers. I built it because I didn't. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'll see you guys in the next video.